Ironically, misandry is not really in the dictionary, yet misogyny is. And that's, this idea of like women can, be superior to men because we hate men, whatever. That's fine. You can believe that, but I just don't subscribe to these ideas. But I grew up with it, so I can understand where they're coming from, and justifiably so. Feminism is a good thing. It is a good thing. Traditional feminism gives women the right to work. It gives women the right to vote, start businesses, travel freely. And we need that in our society. We don't need this neo-Marxist, feminist, anti-man, misandric garbage that's being spewed in our faces. Yes, hi, my name is Jacob Fennell. I'm 43 years old. I'm from the United States. I was born in Philadelphia. My home of record is in California, in Los Angeles, unfortunately. I work in Saudi Arabia for an American company, and I consider myself somebody who has walked away from the Democrat Party. I was officially subscribed to the Democrat Party and their bullshit for the past 20 years, since Bill Clinton. Ended his presidency. I should have seen the writing on the wall with the China trade deal that he signed into play upon his exit. But I grew up in a family of feminists. Very misandric environment, actually. Very misandrous environment that I grew up in. Ironically, misandry is not really in the dictionary, yet misogyny is. And that's, this idea of like women can, be superior to men because we hate men, whatever. That's fine. You can believe that, but I just don't subscribe to these ideas. But I grew up with it, so I can understand where they're coming from, and justifiably so. Feminism is a good thing. It is a good thing. Traditional feminism gives women the right to work. It gives women the right to vote, start businesses, travel freely. And we need that in our society. We don't need this neo-Marxist, feminist, anti-man, misandric garbage that's being spewed in our faces. It wasn't until 2020 when I took a job in Afghanistan where I really began to notice how fucked up our society has become. I was working with Americans on a military base in Kabul, Afghanistan, and I was the only white man on a team of black men and one Latino man. And the 2020 racial division that came as a result of George Floyd unfortunately dying with a knee on his neck, which I find really, really, really just lawless in my opinion. The unrest carried over into the workplace in an enclosed compound, enclosed environment, secluded environment. It was happening where I was working. I was physically assaulted, racially harassed, accused of all kinds of things that I didn't do. And obviously, the corporation that we worked for, they were called Pacific Architects and Engineers. They straight up sided with the guys who were doing the harassing and the assaulting. And I was essentially pushed out. Came back to the United States after 1 year working in Afghanistan, and I went straight to the Los Angeles County Registrar and I said, take me off your list for the Democrat Party. I want nothing to do with this. And it was just in time for the elections, 2020 election. And just seeing how things were going in the registrar's office, you could just sense that there was just a lot of shady activities. There's drop boxes and ballots all over the place. It did not look good. So no surprise that, Joe Biden won the election. However, he may have gotten more votes, but whether or not those votes were legitimate or not, we'll never know because we're not allowed to question it. And the evidence that, shows suspicious, questionable activity is hard to find now, ironically. So surprise, surprise. So that's my story. I came right to Saudi Arabia to continue working in this domain. And here I am after 2 years. We're 2 years into, I would say, probably the worst presidency, the worst administration we've ever had in our system of governance. So with that said, I don't think things are going to change. I think the next 2 years, Mr. Biden is probably going to continue to just lose his marbles, as you'd say. And we're going to see our society further decline into moral inversion, which I just don't subscribe to. So that's my story. And anybody wants to connect, please feel free to reach out. I'm sure there's people out there who have mutual beliefs as me. All I want to see is my country return to sanity, which doesn't seem to be happening in the next 2 years. So with that said, all the best. Thank you.
For more great videos, download the WalkAway Social app at walkawaysocial.com. Share your testimonial and join our community.